If you're receiving a wide range of leads from your landing page and you want to have some automated way of filtering out the low quality from high quality leads, then this workflow is for you. I'll go over details on how you can automate this in n8n using AI and some cool ideas around why this will only work better the more you use it. Let's get right into it. Okay, so your business takes in leads somehow online, whether that is a landing page or a Calendly booking link or some other way. In this example, we will just specify and generalize all of that as your landing page. On your landing page, you have your contact intake form where the lead puts in information, and depending on your qualifying factors on your landing page, you get a very wide range, a wide array of different kinds of leads. You have your lower level leads, which barely have the budget that you would want them to have. They don't really have the exact problem that you're solving. It's sort of kind of similar, but not exactly the thing you do. And they're not really urgent. It's not enough of a pain yet for them to solve it. Then you've got your medium level prospects that are a little bit better than your lower level. And then you've got your best prospects. These prospects have the budget you're looking for. They have the exact problem you solve. And then they have the urgency to solve it right away. So these are your best prospects. The problem that comes up is that each prospect takes time, regardless of what the quality of that prospect is. And you as a business owner or you or your team has to solve and handle every single prospect, no matter the quality. So that's the problem. What that brings me to is that the more that you deal with higher quality prospects and the less that you have to deal with lower and medium quality prospects, the more you like your business, right? How you have to spend your time and what leads you have to deal with determines how much you like your business. And so what I'm going to talk about is how we can use n8n and AI to give you or your team time back and also help you like your business more, because you're going to be dealing with prospects that can afford your services, they want to move forward right away, and they have the exact problem you solve. So let's get into n8n to see exactly how this works. Okay, so here's our workflow. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to move down here to upload example intake emails that the AI agent will then be able to use to reference for what styles and what kinds of emails you want to write for your incoming leads. The problem with AI models is that you can prompt it and say, hey, I want you to write a short email that doesn't have any catchy phrases or sales jargon, and it's going to try to do that, but it's not going to be exactly what you were looking for. So in order to solve that inconsistency and make sure that the emails that the AI agent writes are actually up to your par and to your style and the way you want them written, all we have to do is just give it some kind of context to understand what those emails look like. I have a Google Sheet here that has 10 example emails that are written according to my style of emails. So they're fairly short. There isn't any sales jargon in there. There are direct statements, some data points about them, and just a closing CTA. Like, hey, given that your budget is this and you want to get this done right away, I recommend booking a link, or booking a call rather. So this is what these emails are. We will take these emails and upload them into n8n. This is a very fast process, and you could do this as much as you want. So if you get 50 emails out of nowhere that you want to re-upload for your agent to be able to use, we can do that in just 10 or 15 seconds, and I'll show you how right now. To start off, we have nothing in our intake emails table inside of our database. Let's refresh this to double check. We can see there's nothing. So we'll go into our n8n that pulls the emails from this Google Sheet I just showed you. And then it loops over the items to process each email one by one to embed it into our Supabase database. Let's go ahead and execute this workflow. Okay, we can see here that all 10 emails got sent, and this entire thing finished in less than 17 seconds. Let's go back to our database and double check that this is the case, and we have emails, which we do, all 10 of them. Okay, now that we have these emails, let's go back to our original workflow so we can start testing this. At first, to start, we have our on-form submission, and this would be your landing page or any other way that you take in contact information like a Calendly link or anything of that sort. So don't feel limited to just this one native channel that I'm going to use within n8n. We can take in your data for your leads in any way necessary, no matter what software you're using. Let's go ahead and execute this node. And I'll put in my information here in just a second. Okay, so I filled out the form. In this example, we're going to be filtering out leads based on their budget. But again, don't feel limited to just this. n8n is a very powerful platform, and we can automate and filter basically by so many different things that there's no limitation here. But in this example, we're only going to filter by budget. If you want to filter by something else, feel free to email me in the email that I provided in the video description down below. But for this example, let's continue with filtering just for budget. We selected 5 to 10 grand. Let's submit it and close this window. We can see in the node that we got all the information that we just inputted. And let's go ahead and pin this so we don't have to retype this in every time. Next up, we have our switch node that's going to determine which route this data is going to go down. The first route, which we will explore right now, will be for leads that have between a $5,000 to $25,000 budget. This will be our automated bucket, or a lower quality lead in other terms. Let's go ahead and execute this step, and we'll see that our output 0, which will be this one, is actually the one that it goes down. And now let's see what it looks like. It'll go off to our sales agent. Let's execute it. Now, if you can see here, the sales agent went into Supabase to check the email templates that we already have for it. And so now it's going to use these email examples to compose the email to this new lead. Okay, the sales agent got done writing it. We can see the output here. Let's go ahead and pin this data. Then we will go into our set node. This is just to clean it up and make sure we have the recent version of the email written. And this is important later on when we revise emails. Once this email got sent, the next node will be our feedback email node. So what this will do is it will send the email that the AI agent just composed over to your inbox or to an inbox of someone on your team. And it will basically just ask, hey, do you think this email is good? It was written by an AI agent for this new lead that just came in. Do you approve, do you disapprove this email? Let's take a look at what that looks like. And here's the email that the AI agent wrote. If we like this email, we'll respond with something along the lines of good to go, or approved, or ready to send. For this example, we'll just say good to go, submit, and we'll see here that this turned green. Let's go ahead and pin this data. Let's turn on our text classifier, and we'll see that it went down the approved branch. Now, in this approved branch, we have two outputs. The first one is optional for you. What this does is every time you approve an email, it automatically embeds that email into our existing Supabase database as another email that the AI agent could later on reference for a good email that it can go off of. We can see here that we currently only have 57, right? Is our last number for the row. And we start at 48 because there were emails I tested with before. And anytime we delete a table, we delete the actual number of the table. So every new table, or every new row rather, that comes up after the one that we got deleted, it'll just start with the next row number from there. So just in case this was confusing. Okay, back to the point. We currently have 10 rows here. Once I activate this node, we will embed this recently approved email into our database, and I may not have to reload it, or I might. Let's go ahead and reload it. We'll see here that we have 11 rows, and our new row here, which is 58, which is the email that just got approved right now. We can see that by zacksizov Inc., ready to boost your cold outbound success, and it's the same thing that the agent said here. zacksizov Inc., ready to boost your cold outbound success. Okay, and the last part of this logic is going to be just another set of the email. We'll set the Supabase email and the subject here. That way we can pass it off to the Gmail node and send it back to the customer that just input their information on a website or a landing page. In this example, I hard-coded my email, but in an actual production environment, you would just remove this and put the actual email of the lead that came in. But for this example, I'm only sending this to myself, so I will just keep my primary email here. Let's go ahead and execute both nodes. Okay, both nodes got executed. Okay, now let's see what happens when we go down a second route here. So we will unpin all of this data. So now that we've unpinned all the data, let's just go through this again. And this time we won't execute one by one, we will just execute the workflow. So I'll put in my information here again, but this time I'll select the 50 to 100,000 budget. If you remember, this will be this route instead of the initial first one. Let's submit it and see what happens. Okay, we can see here that everything executed successfully. What these two nodes do is, because this is a medium level lead that you just got delivered, what we'll do is we'll just send this off to your best salesperson saying, hello, my best salesperson, here's this guy's information, reach out to him, so on and so forth. And then to make it easy for the salesperson, we'll also add a label saying that this is an automations project or something else, and we can customize this as needed. And you can see this email that just came in right here. My best salesperson, you have a lead, reach out to this guy, so on and so forth. Here's their budget. Good luck, your favorite boss. And then the label that we just added to it. Okay, now let's see what happens when we go down this third route, which this one I'm pretty excited about. What I set up is a Twilio call being made to me as the business owner that basically says, hello, Zach, you have a lead with $1 million budget calling you. Check it now. Let's see how this works. I'll go ahead and refill the sheet one more time. Okay, I'm going to select the $250 to $1 million budget. Let's pull up my phone and make sure I'm not on Do Not Disturb, which I am not. There we go. And now let's submit this and see what happens. I'm going to hold my phone in my hand here. Okay, so here's my phone. I'm going to submit this form right now. Let's see how fast this happens. I submitted it now. And here I'm getting a call. Let's see what it says.
You can remove this message. Hello, Zach. You have a lead with $1 million budget calling you. Check it now.
There we go. And so I just got a call about a lead that came in just a few seconds ago, telling me, hey, this lead came in. It has $1 million budget. Check it now. And we could also set it up such that I get a text message with all the lead's information. That way I can call him right away. I'm also going to provide an article on how other companies have used something similar to boost productivity within their business. So this will conclude the end of the video. If you found this to be at least a little bit interesting or at least a little bit useful for your business and you want to get on a call with me to discuss a potential project like this, you can find a booking link in the video description down below. And if you're interested but you're not ready to get on a call, you can also find my email in the video description down below. Aside from that, thanks for your time and happy automating.